it's Tina and I'm back. And I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe. If you're also back, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again. How is it going? Is the winter finally breaking where you are? Are you seeing sunshine and springtime? Oh my god, I'm so excited for the warmer weather, even though technically it's been warm all year round here in Florida, and I'm loving that. It's my first winter away from New York in 20 years, so I'm excited as all get out. All right, so I am playing into some spring themes today with my sage green shirt and my sage green eye look. So I am getting ready to go over to my brother's house. It is my sister-in-law's birthday, so we're gonna have cake and everything. And I decided to pull out an old tried and true palette. This is from NARS. It's the Climax palette from yesteryear. Love it. It reminded me, well, let me tell you what initiated this. I got this palette from Ciaté. It is their olive palette. It's a 9-pan palette, right? And it reminded me so much of that NARS palette that I decided to pull that palette out. I told you guys that this year I am trying to use more of my collection and not just focusing on new launches and new palettes. I'm digging into my old stuff because some of you guys already have these palettes in your collection. You probably bought it because I recommended it, and it's time for us to use it. So I'm using that palette as well as a couple of new things. So I have this new Dior Natural Nude Foundation. It is only available at Ulta from what I can see. It's exclusive to Ulta. It's like Dior's new lightweight foundation. It's like a nude tint for the spring and summertime. And we're just getting ready and using all these products. I have a couple of other products that's newer to my collection also mixed in. So we're just having a good time and chatting, okay? And I am diving into the fiasco, the drama of it all that's happening on Twitter right now. It may be phasing out a little bit, but if you guys are on Twitter, you probably already saw it, but the whole back and forth between Angel Reese from LSU and Caitlin Clark from Iowa State. And it's not necessarily directly Caitlin, but all the protectors. It's like the saviors of this white girl. Oh my god. So we're gonna talk about it, get into some probably sensitive racial topics, but I don't think it's so sensitive. It's just things that we should be talking about, right? So full disclosure right there, you're aware of what we're gonna talk about today. If that makes you uncomfortable, probably, you know, kind of question yourself, why does that make you uncomfortable? Let's just have a conversation, all right? So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm gonna do this fun look, and we're just gonna have a conversation, all right? So let's jump right into it. All right, guys, so as usual, what are we doing? We're starting off with a clean, freshly washed face, and I literally did just wash my face, and I wanted to film my moisturizer step before I went in and did my brows, because my skin is feeling a little bit tight, a little bit dry, but I kind of love it that way. So Smashbox sent me a set of their primers and they repackaged everything. Now they have them in plastic squeeze tubes. This is the Photo Finish Primer Riser Plus Hydrating Primer. It says triple hyaluronic acid silk screen complex. So this is meant to be used on clean skin, and you can wear it alone or under makeup to plump and hydrate the skin, right? So I figured I would go ahead and try this out. It is very liquidy, very runny. I don't consider this necessarily, that sounded nasty. So it's a hydrating step, right? And for me, I like to use primers sometimes as my moisturizing step instead of using an actual moisturizer, because I have oily skin. So that is a trick that you can use if you have oily skin and say you have a hydrating primer for whatever reason. Instead of layering it over moisturizer, just go in with the primer itself. It can double as your skincare step because it will help to hydrate your skin, but also it's meant to double as a primer. So I'm just applying that all over my skin, and I'm going to allow that to absorb while I fill in my brows, And I'll be right back with my primer and everything done. All right, I am back and my brows are filled in. I am, listen, this brow is thinner than that one. What are we gonna do about that? What are we going to do? Because something needs to be done, okay? I can't stand these damn brows. I can never get them even. And the thing about it is, if you fill in your brows separately like I do, like I fill them in one at a time, instead of filling them in like symmetrically, then I end up in this situation where I just follow the natural shape of the brow and go with it, and then when I look from a distance at both of them together, they don't quite match up. And they don't have to be identical, but they have to be at least the same thickness. Listen to me, brow. You're upsetting my spirit right now. So, filled in my brows and applied my eyeshadow primer, which is my Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion. And then I'm going all over my lids with my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the shade Caramel. Are they discontinuing this concealer? Because most of the shades are out of stock on the NARS website. Let me double check. Because I tried to order Caramel and it was showing out of stock, so I ended up getting a different shade. But on their website, I don't know if you can see, like all these shades are out of stock, and it's been like that for a while. Let me check the Sephora website, because if it is indeed being discontinued, then I need to know, okay? Even on the Sephora website. So are they reformulating? Are they getting rid of it? I don't feel like they would though, because isn't it a bestseller for them? I don't know. If they are indeed discontinuing it, then I need to stock up, because I love this all over my lids as like a base for my eyeshadows. I don't use it as a primer because I have oily lids, so it will actually crease if I just use it on its own, but it's a great sticky base for eyeshadows. So I'm applying that all over my lids, because this eyelid right here, she is flaking, and I've never, well, maybe once, but I've never really had dry eyelids. I'm going to go in with my blur eyeshadow from Melt Cosmetics. Did Melt do away with their single eyeshadows, like their stack? I think I have another blur, so I'm not too worried about it. And they're always eyeshadows that I can use for this purpose. Do you guys remember when I used to use Smashbox Nude eyeshadow? You have to be from way back in the day when I used to blog. I use that nude eyeshadow as my transition shade for years. I love that eyeshadow, and they did away with them. They were reformulated, like did new shades or whatever. But blur is like a perfect shade for setting my crease so that eyeshadow doesn't crease. If you have oily lids, let me tell you something. Eyeshadows will crease, and even if you have like normal lids, depending on the formulation of the eyeshadow, it can also crease. So I will always recommend using an eyeshadow primer to prevent creasing, but also to extend the wear of your eyeshadow and to help with it sticking to your lids, like better pigmentation. So I have two palettes today, and one of them is brand new. It's from Ciaté. It is their Olive 9-pan eyeshadow palette. They sent this to me, and it has beautiful olive tones and some pops of like warm neutral shades. So we have like a bright, well, this is not that neutral, right? It's more of a bold red orange, and then we have a tan and a deeper brown. There are no matte greens though, which I'm missing. And then we have like some pale like pinks, like pink champagnes, and like a pale pinky ivory. I'll pop in the swatches so you can see what they look like. It's a very subdued spring palette, and a lot of companies are doing this theme with the olivey shades, and I don't mind it. I really like it. But it made me think of my NARS palette. So this one is the Climax eyeshadow palette. Yeah, does that read a little bit similar? So instead of having like the orangey warm shades, we have like the tan, like this pinky nude, but then a lighter beige ivory. We still have a shimmery green and the pinky champagnes, but we have a matte green and then like a matte deeper brown with a hint of red. And then we have this like silver shade. So here are the two palettes side by side. So it's similar, but not the same. So I'm thinking of doing a look with both of these palettes and mixing and matching as needed, because again, the NARS palette has the mattes while the Ciaté palette has the shimmers. I don't know where to go with this, but we're gonna do something fun because that's what we do here on this channel. And we'll just chat. So I wanted to talk about, if you are on Twitter at all, then you've probably seen this. Where is my fluffy blending brush? I was actually laughing at somebody's comment on my short. So I did a short with the Sydney Grace palettes, and they were like, of course, Tina would be the one to use a face brush on her eyes. And it's true, because this is a face brush from Sydney Grace. It's their F01, right? But it's great for just getting in the crease and getting a color down. So you're right. You're absolutely right. Now, I think I'm gonna go, yeah, let me go into the NARS palette and grab this shade. It's like a pinky beige shade, or like a pinky tan. And I'm just gonna do a wash of that in the crease. So large brushes like this one, or like the Sonia G Detail Pro, these are large fluffy brushes. They're meant to be used on the face for like detailed application. So if you like want to use them for concealer or like spot highlighting, perfect, right? For me, they just work really well in the crease because I can just fluff on a little bit of color in that crease line without much effort. I don't have to go back and forth, like boom, it's on, and it diffuses color really well. So it is what it is. Like, they're brushes, you can use them any which way. You can use face brushes on the eyes or eye brushes on the face. Like, who's gonna check me, boo? So have you guys been on Twitter? If you have, then you know all about the sports ball situation, okay? I don't follow sports, so don't expect me to know much. But recently, there was the national championship for women's basketball, but it's college level. Am I right? Am I right? And LSU, which is Louisiana State University, and Iowa State University played in the final game, and LSU won the championship. Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. I know I'm right. All right. Let me go in with the green now from the NARS palette. That green is so pretty. So it's like a dusty, yeah, it's like a dusty green. It's so good. And two of the players had like a little bit of a run-in. There was no fighting or anything, but Caitlin Clark, that's her name, right? Am I right? Let me double check. I was right. It's Caitlin Clark. She plays for Iowa. And one of her opponents on the LSU team is Angel Reese, right? And at the start of the game, or somewhere towards the start of the game, Caitlin made a little "you can't see me" sign to Angel, right? To her teammates. And so when they won, or when they were about to win, Angel did the same little, you know, the little gesture to Caitlin, and then she pointed to her ring finger because she was gonna get the championship ring. It's similar to what's his name? Oh my god. The little light-skinned guy that plays basketball. He's married to a Jamaican, I know that much. You can tell how much I'm not into sports because I'm like, what's his name? Hold on, I can get this. Y'all, I am embarrassed to say how long it took me to find that out. Ciao! Stephen Curry, Steph Curry, oh my god. Ayesha Curry is his wife. I know his wife because, again, she's Jamaican, whatever, okay, fine, right? So, Steph Curry had made that little, hey, you're gonna see this ring on this finger, a little gesture during one of his final games, right? Because he won the championship. So, Angel Reese did the same thing. And to me, I didn't see the problem. I was just like, okay, you know, they're jeering each other. It's what you do. Like, it's sports. Like, yeah, sports ball that I don't play. Like, it's still to me what they do on the court. Isn't that like the whole thing? Low-key, I am almost going to stick to the NARS palette now that I'm looking at the the Ciaté palette, and I really want to stick to the, well, you know what? The greens, the shimmery greens are very similar. The dark shimmery greens, right? The NARS one is a little bit deeper though, so let me use the Ciaté one. But they're very similar. I'm just going to use the Ciaté one because it is lighter. So it's gonna give me more of a pop on the center of my lid. So she did the little gesture, but here's the thing, like, there were so many misogynists on Twitter talking about how, you know, she is classless and how that was so tacky, like, why would she do that? And I'm over here like, what did she do though? I'm not understanding, like, I'm not following, like, what the issue is. I've been using my finger more and more for eyeshadow, and I don't know who I am. Like, who am I? You guys know I hate using my finger for makeup. I hate putting my finger into eyeshadow pans, but it's just been working for the shimmer, so I've just been doing it. You know, it is what it is, but I hate having things on my hands. So let me go in with these Singe Beauty brushes. This is a new brand from Angelica Niequist Hair on YouTube. I went ahead and grabbed these. I wanted to support the cause because she released this new brand, and I was like, let me try it out. I'm going into the other green in the Ciaté palette, and this one is the EO4 brush, which is a small shader brush. All the brushes from the line are small. So if you have small eyes or you do detailed application, then these brushes would be perfect for you. I personally tend to use larger brushes, so these aren't like perfect for me, but I'm supporting, okay? And if I want like precision application, I can use these brushes. They're functional, it's just, they're smaller, right? Which makes them work for smaller eyes and smaller eyelids. And I know Angie, I've met her in person. She has a lot of space on her eyes, but her lids are a little bit smaller, and she does do precision application and precision blending. So it makes sense that she would create these kind of smaller brushes. I like it. I like that one. Let me use the largest one. This one is the EO3. So it's the largest blending brush. It has longer bristles and they're a little bit floppy. So let me go into the NARS palette, grab the deep like red brown shade and create a little bit of depth on that outer V. The green created enough depth, but if you know me by now, then you know I love like a smoky outer V. So let me go in with that. So yeah, these nasty misogynists, and not only misogynist, but it's misogynoir at that point because it's against a black woman, okay? So not only is it packed with misogyny, but also racism, okay? Because Caitlin Clark, like I said, did the same gesture to Angel, but when Angel did it, now it's ghetto, like, why? Why is that? Let's sit and reflect. Why would that be? Could it be because of the color of her skin? And a lot of them are like, no, that's not the reason. It's like, it is the reason. It is the reason. Let's be frank, because nobody was saying that about Caitlyn when she did it. So a black woman does it, okay? A successful black woman, because she won the game with her team. She does it, and all of a sudden, it's unsportsmanlike. Like, what are we doing here? What are we really doing? Like, think about it. And some people make comments and they don't even realize the racism that is behind it. Because automatically, you look at black skin and you assign aggression to it, right? Because they were like, oh, it was too aggressive. Like, why is she chasing Caitlyn to do that? I'm like, they're playing the game. Like, this is a part of it. Like, the taunting is a part of it. And I mean, they're allowed to celebrate, right? And then everything that these people were posting, and there were some prominent accounts that were saying things too. They were coming out like full force with the racism and with the misogyny. And I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, why is this such a big deal? Like, why are people making such a fuss? And I'm glad that Black Twitter, okay, came to Angel's defense. Bayou Barbie, like, isn't that cute? Her name, first of all, is pretty as hell. Angel Reese. Isn't that a pretty name? And then they call her Bayou Barbie because of the bayou in, am I saying that right? Bayou Barbie. I was saying that right? I think, I don't know. What was I saying before? Bayou Barbie. What was I saying? I don't know. Bayou Barbie, okay? So she is celebrating her win, and she spoke up for herself. She's like, listen, first of all, I'm going in now with the Smashbox Photo Finish Control Mattifying Primer in my T-zone. She said, listen, okay, they've always said I was too loud, I was too ghetto, I was too this, I was too that. And at the end of the day, I'm representing for the girls that look like me, my people, okay? Be unapologetically you. And I was like, yes, sis. She's a sophomore in college, so she's still pretty young. But to already have that view of the world, like, yes, don't let them dull your shine. Don't let them tell you that you're too loud. Don't let them tell you to taper your personality to please them. Like, no, be unapologetically you. And that's what I liked about Sha'Carri Richardson initially, until she tried to come for Jamaicans and she was getting all cocky and still can't win a race, and then it upset me, okay? I was like, listen, don't you come for Shelly Ann, okay? Do not, okay? I will fight you. Elaine, don't come for our Olympians, okay, miss? I don't appreciate that. But I like that about Sha'Carri initially. She had the nails, the hair, the lashes, like everything, because she is being herself and she's representing for girls that look like her, that want to have that representation in sports, to show that you can be you, you can stick to your culture and do the lace front and do the long nails and stick to you while still excelling at a sport. And I'm like, yes, I love to see it. So she's very outspoken. And then Miss Biden, Dr. Jill, this is now the Photo Finish Illuminate Glow Primer. I used this in another Get Ready With Me under my foundation, and I really liked how it looked once I applied my foundation and my blush. It gave this little bit of glow on my face without being too shiny. I really liked it. There's no glitter in this, right? It's just like a very fine shimmer that adds this glow to your skin. So I really like it. And since I used it the last time, I want to use it again, because who gonna stop me? Like, do you see that healthy little glow? Who am I? Who am I? Like I said, who am I? Because now I'm using like glowy complexion products. Like, Tina, are you there? Are you okay? I'm okay, all right? Now I'm gonna use a new foundation. This is Forever Natural Nude from Dior. This is a new formulation that's only available at Ulta. And I saw it, I was like, what? Tell me more, because I have the other foundations, but this one is meant to be a more lightweight version. So it's the Natural Nude, and I think it's supposed to have more of a natural finish. I didn't even read anything about it. I just picked it up. Yeah, that's me. So the shade I have is 4.5N. I didn't pay for it. I used my points. I never know what to get with my points from Ulta. But now that they have more and more brands that I love, I can pick things up. So loving it. This is an Allure Smooth Canvas Foundation brush. Do you see the shade? Like, perfect. So Miss Biden was like, oh, you know, great. We should have both teams at the White House. And I'm like, hold up, what? Because typically the winner goes to the White House. Like, the winning team goes and meets the president. They have like a whole day at the White House, right? That's the typical tradition. So when she's talking about how, oh, she would like to invite, and she was just saying this because they asked her a question. She was saying, oh, she would like to invite both teams. And Black Twitter was like, first of all, no. Angel responded, she's like, no, not going, thank you so much. And I agree with her. And again, some prominent figures stepped up for her as well. I think Stephen Smith is one of them. And Shaq was also one of them that spoke up like, yes, sis. I think even LeBron said something. But you're the winning team. Like, why should you have to share that White House event, that visit with your opposing team that lost? Like, it's not about good sportsmanship at that point. It's you coddling the losers. Why? Because they cried their white women tears. Because the teams, here's the thing, LSU is primarily black, and then Iowa State is primarily white. So you're saying that the black team won, okay? They won the privilege of going to the White House, if you want to call it a privilege, okay? They won. So they're the ones that go to the White House. Why are they then sharing that with the losing team? They lost. There's no participation certificate. Like, there's no participation trophy. You don't get to share in the spoils of the winner just because you cried about it. Like, don't do that. And for so long, okay, black women have had to be humble about their win. Like, if they win, they're not supposed to celebrate and brag and show off. And it's like, why? Why should we dampen our shine just to make other people feel comfortable? Like, be loud and proud about who you are. And I'm loving that Angel is doing exactly that. She's unapologetically herself. She's like, listen, I'm not going because it's not fair that... She didn't say all of that, right? But she kind of did. I think she's done multiple interviews at this point, people asking her that question. And even at the press conference, she said that. She was like, why am I going to feel bad about what I did? Like, I did it. I'm standing in it. When Caitlyn did it, it was no problem. But when I do it, it's a problem. That was the Kosas concealer. So do you see how there's this glow from the primer? Yeah, right? It does shine through, and maybe I don't want all that shine, but I'm saying it shines through and it's pretty. It is pretty. I might start doing that instead of doing actual highlighter on my skin, because I really do like, right? It looks so natural. So it's like, why should she be sharing the spotlight? Like, that's not fair. That is not fair. And I agree completely with her. But I hope she doesn't start going too overboard. Like, all right, you made your point. Don't keep milking it, because they're gonna create a villain out of you sooner rather than later. They're gonna try to turn on her. So just, we made our point, and now I'm kind of telling her to taper it a bit, right? So maybe I'm also a culprit in this. So maybe don't taper it a little bit. Like, all right, we celebrate, okay? We celebrate, but let's just, we can stop talking about it now. It's fine, okay? You are a champion. Let's run with that. But she said that she doesn't want to go to the White House to meet Biden. She wants to meet the Obamas instead. And to be honest, I would prefer to meet the Obamas too. So, but that's just me. That's just me. So, we'll see what happens. But yeah, like, I don't think black women should ever have to humble themselves, humble their accomplishments, downplay themselves, again, to make other people comfortable. My Kosas powder is dunzo. It is, there's like nothing left. That part of it is the pan that they bake it on. And I just have like the very edge of the powder left. But yeah. I've also been told that I'm too much, I'm too loud, I'm too intimidating. And I'm like, why am I too loud and too intimidating? I am a little bit loud, okay? But like, I shouldn't have to dampen my shine again to make you feel more comfortable. And thankfully, I haven't encountered too much of that in my career. Initially starting out, you can sense it a bit because I'm black in a male-dominated industry, and the majority of the male engineers that I've worked with have been white. This is my House Labs bronzer. This shade is Deep Level number 9. I love this bronzer, and this is a BK Beauty 109 brush. The big one is the 105. So this little guy is a mini of the 101, and they're the same shape, just smaller, right? I could have probably used the 101, but I want to do a little bit of contouring with this. So black women have always had to kind of downplay themselves, again, to make white people especially more comfortable. And that's not okay. And it's been seen throughout history, right? Share the spotlight. You won, but the losers, yeah, share it with them because, oh, you all played a good game. Yeah, everybody played a good game, but they won. So why do they have to share the spotlight with Iowa, right? And here's the question. If Iowa had won, right? If they had won, would LSU be invited as well? No, they wouldn't. Let's be real with that. They would not. And it's time that white people start noticing these things. Like it's embedded, it's ingrained, so you might not even realize that you're being racist, right? These are the microaggressions that we face daily that are downplayed. Oh, that's not racist. Yes, it is actually. And it's a part of the racist regime that we've been a part of for how many years? And you need to start taking stock of that. And I watched a video on Twitter. I think it may have been from TikTok. It may have been, but I saw it on Twitter. And it was this woman who is a teacher, and she was talking about how she had to do some introspection herself and realize that she does have some latent racism like harbored in her thoughts, because she and this black girl went to the same college, right? Teachers college. They were in the same classes. They studied the same thing. And she mentioned that this black woman was far like outshining her. Like she was top of the class. She was so organized. And when they started to do their internships and going to different schools and like doing the rounds, she was saying how this girl, this woman, was so much more prepared than she was. She had like the plans, the lesson plans laid out. She had the different teaching, what do you call them, props, like the different things prepared for her classes. And she was just always ahead, above, and beyond her, right? And instead of admiring this woman, instead she felt this kind of hatred towards her. And she didn't know why, because nothing that the girl did or the woman did was against her. I don't know, like, I'm calling them girl, woman, but, you know, college age. So they're young adults, right? So there was nothing that this woman did to her other than excel. Like, be heads and tails above heads and tails. But be, like, a better teacher, essentially, than she is. And she had to, like, do some introspection because she realized that her expectation was that she would excel above this black woman, because black women always played like the supporting role to a white woman. All these movies that we watch, there's always the lead actress or the lead character, and the black character would be a supporting role, right? It's never the other way around where, well, sometimes you might see it, but not really. It's usually the white woman is the lead, and then the black woman is her friend, her therapist, her subordinate, her assistant. Like, the black woman is never in the position of power. So to her growing up, that was always the expectation, that the black woman would play second fiddle to her. So in college, when she's noticing that this black woman is a great teacher, like she was a great student, and she was essentially better than her in school and in the profession, she just couldn't understand it. And she had this hatred towards this woman for no reason other than she was excelling more than she was. And that wasn't the expectation because she's white. And her privilege taught her that she's supposed to be better than the black woman, right? And to me, a lot more white people and white women need to acknowledge that and realize their part in this, right? It's like society is set up in the US, well, not even just in the US, just in the world, period, that the expectation is that the black woman plays the supporting role instead of the lead role, and it's instead of being the best, you know? And we've seen, right, black women excel at their craft just as much as white women do. I'm not taking accomplishments from white women at all, no. But white women are always lauded for their accomplishments, while black women are kind of told to, you know, share, humble yourself, don't be loud about it. I'm going into the Ciaté palette and grabbing the little pinky champagne and applying it to my inner tear duct. Yeah, and it's like black women have always had to dull their shine and allow others to shine above them, or dull their shine so others don't feel intimidated. And it's like, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. So that's why I'm fully in support of Angel Reese. Just don't do anything too outlandish. I'm rooting for her, and I expect greatness for her, and I want to see her flourish and just shine, okay? Shine, put that crown on your head. I love it. Oh my god, that highlight. Yes, that's pretty. So the shimmers are really cute in the Ciaté palette. The mattes are winners in the NARS palette, but the shimmers in the NARS palette are cute too. So it's fine. But yeah, what do you guys think? Have you, as if you're white and you're watching this, have you realized that you probably have some internalized prejudices and a little bit of racism there that you have to consider? You know? And again, it's not an attack, because a lot of this is ingrained, right? Just how we grew up, just the movies we watch, how society treats us. And you may not even realize yourself that you're perpetuating this racist behavior. Like, you might not even realize it until it's called out, and then you're like, hold on, you're right, like, hold on, maybe I do expect to be miles and miles ahead of black people, and maybe I do assign aggression to black people when they're outspoken, but if they're white, then it's just them speaking up for themselves and yas queen, instead of treating everybody the same. Like, if it's coming from a white face versus a black face, you assign a different criticism to it. Like, for real though. And I do also have some of those biases that I have to check myself with, right? Women, just women, blanket women, we have internalized misogyny sometimes too, right? When we look at other women, we may make comments in our minds or think certain things, and then you really look back, you take a step back, and you're like, that is misogyny, like 101, and why am I perpetuating it? So it's something that we all have to work on, okay? We all have to work on it. So it's not pointing a finger, but it's just bringing something to the forefront so you can maybe think about it. You think about it. Maybe you're doing things too that you can address. You know, it's not enough to say, I'm not racist. You have to kind of also be anti-racist, you know? Like anti-racism, anti-misogyny, because you have to unlearn a lot and work against a lot of things, because again, it's been in society for decades, okay, for centuries really, and we have to unlearn it, and it's something that you have to put effort into it. You can't just say, I'm not racist, but you're benefiting from a racist system, and maybe you are making comments and you do have judgments that are based in racism and you just didn't realize, or you didn't really think about it that way. But if you really take a step back, you realize that they're problematic. And that doesn't make you a bad person. Again, you're a product of the society, right? But it's up to you then to acknowledge it and do better. You know better, you do better. And that's all we can ask of people, do better. You see all these issues coming to the forefront now. You see it, so, do better. Now that you see it, what are you gonna do to address it from your side of things? All right, I'm going to put on an outfit, but here are the eyes, completely done. They're really pretty. I'm not gonna put lashes on because I'm just going over to my brother's house. For the cheeks, I use the Benefit blush and also a Make Beauty blush. I find that my cheeks really eat blush, and I've been trying to catalog which blushes actually give color to my cheeks and stay on. So I'm making mental notes. Maybe I should make an actual spreadsheet about the blushes that really work for me, because I'm telling you right now, my face just eats up blushes. But Make Beauty, the blushes stay on, and also House Labs. But I feel like the Benefit blush, which is Krista, I got this during the 21 Days of Beauty. This one kind of disappeared on my cheeks a little bit. So I'm trying to make mental note of a lot of things. I gotta put something on, and I'll be right back to finish up with a lip and show you the final look. All right, so I am back, and it is time for a lip. I think I'm gonna do just gloss, what I usually do. I'm going in with this One Size lip liner in Rent Dew. It's a great nudie lip liner for my lips, because my lips are a little bit darker, and this almost matches them exactly. So I'm able to create like a crisp line and kind of even out the shape of my lips, and even overline it a little bit, because this color matches me so well. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I think this is the first lip liner that I can say is almost an exact match to the natural darkness in my lips. And now I'll go in with the Amicole lip gloss. Well, it's a lip oil, and this is the brown one. I think this lip gloss is so fantastic. It's such a beautiful nude. My favorite one is the pink one though, but I feel like nude would go better with this eye look. So here you have it. Here is the final look. And I will say that I implore you, as a fellow human being, to kind of check yourself, with this discussion that we just had and just seeing what happened on Twitter. And I'm so happy that Black Twitter was not having it, because right now Angel Reese is like our little sister, so we are going to protect her. I'm just cleaning off my nose ring. Whatever. So we definitely went balls to the wall, addressing all the racist comments and letting people know, like, you're not gonna check her, okay? Watch your mouth. So hopefully you can also kind of do that for yourself, where you check yourself and kind of notice where you are probably perpetuating some stereotypes, perpetuating some racist norms. They have become norms in our society, and see where you may need to adjust, self-adjust, and also address it when you see it. Call it out. Don't expect a Black woman, okay, to mute herself, to dull herself down, to make you feel uncomfortable. Maybe think about why you're uncomfortable that a Black woman is rejoicing in her accomplishments, and why she's being criticized or judged differently than if someone that was white did the same thing. And sometimes it's not even just white. It may be someone of a different race. If they were Asian or Hispanic or even Indian, like, they get a different perception and they get criticized or judged a little bit differently than, not even a little bit, okay? They get judged differently, sometimes harshly, when compared to their counterparts in other races, especially the white race, right? Like, these are conversations that we need to have, like, speak openly about it. It's not about, like, casting judgment on you as a person and calling you, like, you're a racist. Like, no, let's have these conversations, all right? It's a part of the fabric of this society. So let's work against it. Let's have these uncomfortable conversations. It may expose a part of you that you may not be the most proud of. And that's okay, because it's all about improvement, right? If you notice that you have a certain behavior that's not in line with your ethics and morals, then address it. I mean, we're all here to grow and learn as humans and learn from each other. So I'm hoping that this discussion didn't feel like an attack, because it's not an attack, right? It is not an attack, but it's a gateway for you to start like questioning yourself and maybe looking a little bit deeper on your motives for certain things. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mean it to get this deep. It just really irked me. It bothered me, the backlash that this black athlete was getting for doing a simple hand gesture that was already done to her on the court, the same court, during the same game by a white opponent. So it's like, it really affected me, and I thought, I just wanted to talk about it. So here you go. Here's the final look. I really love how this turned out. I've always loved the NARS palette. Like, this made my favorites the year it debuted. So I figured, let me use it, because a lot of you may have picked it up and it's in your collection. It's a beautiful palette. And it is in line with the theme of a few of the spring palettes that have launched, such as the Ciaté palette. This is a cute little palette too. So if you wanted to grab this and add it to your collection, go ahead, because I think it's a nice palette. It would accomplish a similar look. You may have to bring in a brown, because the brown in this, you know what? It's not too bad. You might get away with that one. It's not as rich as the one in the NARS palette, but it's cute. And then you have a orange in here that can add a little color. So both palettes cute. I just really love the NARS one, but that was limited edition. It's not available anymore. The foundation, the match is really nice. I like how my skin looks right now. Like, even the little glow right there between the Benefit blush and the illuminating primer from Smashbox. That's nice, right? And then the rest of my skin feels very comfortable, and I'm more matte than I would be without like powdering and without the primer. I think it looks great. It's a very lightweight foundation, the Dior foundation. It's lightweight, it's thinner than the other formulation. So if you were looking for like a summer foundation that's more, you know, lightweight, closer to a tint. It's not a tint, but it's a little bit more, it's a little more thin. It's a little less full coverage. It's like a light medium. I think this is a good one. I love Dior's foundations. They've always impressed me, so I knew I was gonna like this, and everything else I've used before. So there you have it. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Let me show you my outfit, because I just started showing you guys my outfits, because I don't do outfits of the day anymore, because I'm not going into work. I'm not going into the office. So this is what I'm wearing. This is a little mint, or what do you call it, sage? Is that what you would call it, like a sage button-down short sleeve shirt? And it has this kind of distressed, almost aged vintage look. I'm loving it, okay? I have a blue one. I have like a tan one. I love this style. I love like the, what do you call it? Like the distressed look of the material. I really love it, and then I paired it with just white shorts because it's summertime for me, at least, because listen, okay, I don't have shoes on yet, but I'm just gonna put on some simple sandals. I love white shorts, okay? I love wearing white. It's my thing. So there you have it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I will leave a full list of all the products used in this video down below in the description box. I didn't mention all of them throughout the video, so if you missed anything, it's in the description box. I will also leave links on where you can pick them up. Those links, if they have an asterisk next to them, would be an affiliate link. That means I will get a small sales commission if you make a purchase through those links. It's an easy way to show your support for the channel because it gives me a kickback without changing the actual price of the product. So if you wanted to show your support, shop through my links. That's the easiest way. You can also give me like a little bonus tip through my channel subscriptions and super thanks. Those are a great way, again, to show your support and help me put right back into the content. And I will also go ahead and leave links to my Instagram and Twitter where you should be following me along. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.